I started out as a digital journalist for CNA. And I think that meant that I felt like I needed to be like on the ball 24/7. I think living in a digital era, I felt like I needed to always be connected, always check Slack, check WhatsApp, check Telegram. I felt this constant need to stay on top of things. I felt like I wasn't performing if I didn't. And I also unwittingly made my job my identity. One realization that I had was that if I really give my 100% at work, and I will come back and give my leftovers to my family. And this is even before I was married and became a parent. When I thought about it, I asked, is this what I really want, right? Does this make me, a better worker, a better person? Overall, not really. And I think that revelation was very helpful in reframing my approach to work, where I can give 100% of a 60%. And then the 40% that I bring home, I have the energy, I have the wholeheartedness to spend time with them, to be fully present. And that overall makes me a more fulfilled human being, and therefore someone who is able to bring my whole self to work.
At first, I wasn't a healthcare enthusiast at all. Yeah. A few years ago, I was a non-workout person, and I didn't eat well. And then as a result, my weight increased to 130 kilograms. And then COVID came, and then suddenly I feel like living a healthy lifestyle and having a good immune system is something that I really need during those times, yeah. And then since then, I followed a strict diet and exercise program, so I was able to lose about 60 kilograms in one and a half years.
How does our team and colleagues meet unrealistic deadlines, that perhaps mean you may need to work over the weekends or long nights? So I think, and there's certainly an expectation out there in some industries that, if you get that there is a need to respond or to answer an email immediately, out of our office hours or maybe on the weekend. I think unless it's urgent or that needs your urgent attention, I think, pick up the phone in that instance. But I think responding to emails during working hours is it's critical, I think.
When I first started in the industry, it wasn't easy because there was a lot of skills and knowledge that you needed to pick up along the way. So that meant I put in quite a lot of long hours to pick up the skills and the knowledge because of the technicality of the PR industry. My boss did tell me, Leonard, work will never end. So that is one thing that always struck with me, that no matter how much hours we put in, no matter how much effort that we put in, it's always a reminder that we need to stop and pause to see, okay, this is time to disconnect and also find time for ourselves outside of work. I learned to set boundaries and also prioritize self-care. So whether it's hanging out with friends or making dinner appointments purposefully, or finding the time to exercise, or picking up a new sport or hobby. So things like this along the way did help me to build in these pockets of time and help me to disconnect from the work and also ensure my well-being along the way.
My health is a top priority for me, having been a 3-time cancer survivor myself. So it's something that I put a lot of time and energy and focus in now. So it's the most important thing for me. If you don't have a healthy mind or body, I don't believe that you can perform at your peak in the work environment, and your concentration suffers, and lack of sleep, or stress as well. You're not going to perform at your best. You may have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, then that's not going to help you. So focus on health and well-being moving forward, and everything else will fall into place.
I do make it a point to eat healthily at least 3 to 4 times a week out of the 5 days that we are at work. So the diet is a big thing. So even so we have the choice, is that we have the potato chips or the apples or bananas in the pantry. So we can opt for the healthier option. I think one of the simple things is just to get up to walk around the office, maybe every hour or every 45 minutes. So I do use the smartwatch, so that helps to remind me, okay, it's time to stand or it's time to walk about.
I realized that maintaining physical and mental health is extremely important for the overall well-being and the quality of life. Yeah, good physical health will help us to maintain healthy body weight and then reduce the risk of chronic disease, such as heart disease and then diabetes, cancer, and improve immune function.
I practice this thing that I saw on TikTok, actually called time blocking. Essentially, I make sure that I block out parts of my Outlook for various tasks. So between 9 to 12:30, like I block it out, and literally it's a calendar invite called actual work, and I do actual work during that time, and I try not to take calls. I feel that has helped me reframe my day, where like if I'm focusing on a particular task, I'm able to do so. And then when I'm taking calls, I'm being able to be quite present as well. And I block out like 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. on my calendar, so that, you know, I'm able to like get my daughter dinner, like do the whole bedtime routine with her, put her to bed. And if necessary, like I will jump on, like, you know, after that to clear whatever I need to clear. Or if not, like, you know, I enjoy my evening.
Making sure that the staff and the team take their full lunch break. Many a time in my career, I've seen staff sitting at their desk eating their lunch there while they're still trying to do emails and things. I think it's important and critical for your personal health and well-being that you get up, take a full lunch break, even if it's stepping aside or going to a kitchen area or staff dining area. It just clears your mind and gets you up and away from that computer for 45 minutes or an hour. Another thing too, working in China, it was always a case of don't judge the staff if they leave on time at the designated hour. I think sometimes staff feel compelled to be the last one out of the office, so to speak. So they think they're setting a good example for their boss. I think that's a very toxic culture to have in your work environment. I think it's important and not to judge your staff if they have, many of them have got family commitments that they need to action outside of work. So I think that's very important as well. One of the things that I liked the most when I was working at Sands Resorts in Macau was that every Friday, because we had a number of spas, so every Friday we were very fortunate, we would have a spa therapist come around and give us a little 5-minute shoulder massage. So we all look forward to that. That was a great experience and gave us 5 minutes just to stop and refocus.
At the office, we also provide this simple weight training equipments, that can be used by all staff, and then we encourage work-life balance, with flexible working arrangements and then flexible schedules as well. And we encourage them not to work after 6 p.m. every day.
At RGA, we have various like wellness programs. So like every Wednesday is what we call Wellness Wednesday. We have fruit. Sometimes we bring in the masseurs from the visually handicapped organization. Sometimes we have virtual yoga, and people can join in. It's like both a physical and online thing.
It's about communication and the relationship they have with each other. So oftentimes I think employees burn out or their mental health deteriorates because nobody checks in on them or no one really bothers to ask a simple question: how are you doing? So I think that's one of the biggest things that companies can do. So whether it's from the manager point of view or the leadership point of view, to make this a regular thing that employees keep in touch with each other and have maybe like a buddy system, or even managers check in on a weekly basis just to see how the employee is doing.